Newly disclosed documents are giving new insight into the police dispersal of last winter's Freedom Convoy in Ottawa. They show intelligence officials were warning about the possibility of violent revenge. With more, let's turn to CTV's Kevin Gallagher. He's at the Bureau for us this morning. Kevin, so what warnings were in the threat assessment memo?
Well, essentially, Marcia, this happened to really focus in on if police moved in to disperse the occupation in downtown Ottawa back in February, that, there could be basically a violent outcome, potentially targeted sites, to political figures or political symbolism within Ottawa targeted. These all comes from a memo that was obtained by the Canadian press through Freedom Access to Information Act. Now, it did say that, extremist, quote, influencers would leverage the outcome of the protests for continued recruitment and propaganda, regardless of whether COVID-19 pandemic restrictions were relaxed. Of course, the main thrust of that protest was about removing all mandates related to COVID-19. But here in this threat assessment report, intelligence officials are saying that even if some of those restrictions were loosened or, lifted altogether, that it wouldn't necessarily dissuade the underlying cause that they say was really being put forward by ideologically motivated extremists. That's a term that has been used a lot here by, intelligence officials to describe certain groups, especially far-right or even white supremacist groups that have basically domestic terrorist, ideals, or perhaps want to overthrow a current system, for example. There's a quote I'll bring up here from this. That, quote, the perceived notion that societal resilience is fragile or that the government/police response justifies violent resistance could inspire a lone actor or small group inspired by ideologically motivated extremists to conduct an opportunistic attack against a political figure or symbol of government. So certainly that is one of the major findings from this report, and a major warning that the government received from these intelligence officials that started monitoring the so-called Freedom Convoy, I should say, Marcia, in late February.
And just
quickly, late January.
Kevin, and this new information it comes after CTV News obtained those cabinet documents last week talking about the threat assessment before the Prime Minister invoked that Emergencies Act.
That's right. And so that was on February 14th. The Emergencies Act was invoked. Of course, those cabinet documents are part of court documents that are part of a court challenge against the government invoking the Emergencies Act. That, of course, was the first time that they ever did. Now, in those documents, there was a, quote, a potential breakthrough that might have been reached. Now, that was something that, of course, cabinet members were told at the time. But also there was a breakdown of from Public Safety Canada and the lead negotiator for the OPP of what they felt this crowd that had occupied Ottawa was made up of. And there was approximately 80% of the protesters having a weak connection to the cause, or 5% having a, quote, strong devotion to it. 15% were thought to be swing actors. And so this was all in the context of the concern then in those reports. That was from just before February 14th, when those cabinet documents were now revealed in these court filings, that this was a warning here where this is the breakdown of the crowd, but also that there was still ideologically motivated violent extremists. That's what, public safety and anti-terrorism experts here in the federal officials were saying.
Yeah.
That this is a major concern. At that time, it was something that was still being monitored, and these documents today that we've gotten date back to February 24th, so it shows that really that assessment only perhaps grew worse and even more threatening.
Kevin, thanks for all that. We'll check in with you later this morning for more.